Good morning. Welcome to our September 9th, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting. Our first order of business will stand to pledge to the flag if you are able, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, agenda review, Bob.
Mr. Chair, there are no changes to the agenda today.
Do you have a motion for the agenda?
Move the agenda.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Move to recess for economic development.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to recess. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. At this time, we will call to order our Economic Development Authority. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning.
We have an agenda review for this, please, Bob.
Mr. Chair, no changes to this agenda.
All right.
Move the agenda.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for the agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Minutes from July 8th, 25.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Good morning, Nicole. Just please identify yourself for the record, and we'll talk about our Bring It Home rental assistance.
Good morning, Chair Brunder and Commissioners. I'm Nicole Cunningham with the Mankato and Blue Earth County EDA's Housing Coordinator.
Welcome.
The Bring It Home MOU and grant agreement, the EDA was awarded Bring It Home funding on July 24th, 2025 by Minnesota Housing to provide needed rental assistance to the region. The grant amount of $3,347,771 is made up of $62,575 in startup costs to be used in the first 12 months of contracting and $3,285,196 in housing assistance payments and administrative fees intended to be used during the full 2-year contract term. We estimate the program will provide an additional 150 to 180 vouchers. The program will be administered throughout Region 9 in partnership with housing authorities in the region and requires the EDA to establish a memorandum of agreement between agencies to coordinate the administration of the program. The rental assistance for cost-burdened households earning up to 50% area median income. Priority for rental assistance shall be given to households with children 18 years of age or younger and annual incomes up to 30% of the area's median income. The requested action is to approve by resolution the Executive Director's authorization to execute the grant agreement and all documents required by Minnesota Housing and to enter the memorandum of agreement for regional administration of the program. This concludes staff's report.
Thank you, Nicole. What are the wishes of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion, comments?
Nice job.
Yes,
Nice
very good
grant.
program.
Very good.
Thank you for bringing it forward. No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, Local Housing Trust Fund.
Minnesota Housing approved the Mankato EDA's and Blue Earth County EDA's request for funding under the 2025 Local Housing Trust Fund Grants Program request for proposal, on May 28th, 2025, and the EDA has been awarded $150,000. The EDA approved a local match to these grant funds of $150,000 from its general fund. Within our application, the EDA stipulated the use of funds will support the Partnership Community Land Trust in Mankato. The $300,000 will create affordable homeownership with 12 homes in the Partnership Community Land Trust by December 31st, 2026. The requested action is to approve by resolution the Executive Director's authorization to execute the grant agreement with Minnesota Housing. This concludes staff's report.
Thank you, Nicole.
I would move to approve.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Again, another exciting program and fun to get them going. So thanks for all your hard work on it.
Thank you.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Nicole.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We will move back down to our regular agenda. Item number 4 is some drainage items. Good morning, Craig.
Morning.
Looks like you got several things for us.
Oh, yeah. First one is we have repair bids for County Ditch 25. Quotes were solicited from multiple contractors for proposed repair work affecting portions of County Ditch 25. The repairs include, but are not limited to, sloughing repairs, ditch side slope reshaping, sediment cleaning of open ditch, and the tree removal near the system outlet. On August 13th, 2025, 4 quotes were submitted for the proposed repair work. The engineer's estimate for the proposed repair work was $215,138.25. The 4 submitted quotes were provided in the table below. The lowest quote submitted from Leland Drainage and Excavating with a lump sum of $172,115.29. ISG and Blue Earth County have worked with Leland Drainage Excavating on past projects with similar scope of work with positive results. ISG recommends awarding the project to Leland Drainage and Excavating. We are asking the County Ditch 25 Drainage Authority to award the repair contract to Leland Drainage and Excavating in the amount of $172,115.29 for the proposed repairs in County Ditch 25.
Thank you, Craig. A motion?
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second for County Ditch 25 repairs. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Next item is regarding repair bids for County Ditch 26. Quotes were solicited from multiple contractors for the proposed work affecting portions of County Ditch 26. These repairs include, but are not limited to, slough repairs, ditch side slope reshaping, sediment cleaning of open ditch, and new crossings to be installed. On August 19, 2025, 6 quotes were submitted for proposed repair work. The engineer's estimate for the project repair work is $187,525.70. The 6 submitted quotes are provided in the table below, with the lowest quote submitted from Larson Contracting with a lump sum quote of $155,597.63. ISG has worked with Larson Contracting on past projects with similar scope of work with positive results. ISG recommends awarding the project to Larson Contracting. We are asking the Drainage Authority to award the repair contract to Larson Contracting in the amount of $155,597.63 for the repairs to County Ditch 26.
Thank you, Craig. What are the wishes of the board?
I'll move it.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries for the County Ditch 26 bid award.
Our next item is bid awards for County Ditch 73. Quotes were solicited for multiple contractors for the proposed repair work affecting portions of County Ditch 73. The repairs include replacement for portions of County Ditch 73, subsurface tile lines throughout the system. August 29, 2025, 1 quote was submitted for the proposed work. The engineer's estimate for this proposed repair work was $106,254.51. The quote submitted from Leland Excavating and Drainage was a lump sum quote of $122,535. ISG has worked with Leland Excavating on past projects with similar scope work with positive results. ISG recommends awarding the project to Leland Excavating and Drainage. We are asking the County Ditch Drainage Authority to award the repair contract to Leland Excavating and Drainage for the amount of $122,535 for the proposed repairs to County Ditch 73.
Thank you,
So
Craig.
moved.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And our last item for today is setting the hearing date for the repairs for County Ditch 89. Blue Earth County Ditch 89 watershed is approximately 880 acres in size and is located in Pleasant Mountain and Shelby Townships. Based on inspections of the County Ditch 89, a repair report was developed. Blue Earth County drainage staff consulted with engineer Mr. Chuck Brandel from ISG to develop a repair report. The repair report was developed using drainage staff input as well as engineering survey recommendations. An informational landowner meeting was held on August 20th, 2025 to discuss the proposed repair report and include costs and plans. At today's meeting, we are requesting the Drainage Authority to approve the draft findings and orders, setting the hearing date for the September 23rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for setting the hearing date for September 23rd, 25. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Craig. Have a good day. All right, we'll move on to item number 5, Public Works Update. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Ryan.
Ryan Tilges, Blue Earth County Engineer and Public Works Director. Thank you for your time this morning. A handful of action items, and then we'll provide some information updates on current goings-on within the Public Works Department. The first action item is consideration of a resolution for bridge replacement or rehabilitation. This updated list includes anticipated bridges. Typically speaking, this is probably about a 5-year list of bridges. For reference, these bridges will all be included also in our 2026 to 2030 Transportation Improvement Plan. They are not all currently eligible for bridge bond replacement funds yet, but we anticipate that over the next 5+ years, they'll continue to degrade as they all do, and they may become eligible, so we want to get them on the prioritization list. So with that said, I'd be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, I would recommend approval of the updated bridge replacement resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Second action item. Consideration of final payment for State Aid Project 007-611-013, County State Aid Highway 11 grading and surfacing from the West County line to County State Aid Highway number 6. R&E Enterprises of Mankato was the prime contractor. The original contract amount was $2,496,194.04. The final payment number, where is that at, 11, is in the amount of $30,005.60 for a total final contract payment amount of $2,701,920.22. I recommend approval of the final contract payment.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for the final payment on CASA 11. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
All right, action item number 3 in your packet is consideration of final payment for State Aid Project 007-613-013. This is County State Aid Highway 13 from Trunk Highway 169 to County State Aid Highway 1 west of Good Thunder. Mathwoods Construction Company was the prime contractor. Original contract amount $10,210,037.39. Final contract payment number 20 amount $103,104.38 for a total final contract amount of $10,298,063.29. Recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for the CASA 13 final payment. Any discussion?
This is total amount, right? Bridge,
Correct.
everything
Complete.
else is,
Close out the contract amount. Yep. So it was 100.56% of the original contract
Yep.
cost.
and remind me the mileage on that approximately.
That was approximately, if I remember correctly, about 6 miles and included one small box culvert bridge and
Big
obviously
bridge.
the large big bridge. And that project did utilize some bridge bonds also for that bridge project.
Just trying to think of my cost per mile.
Yep.
Yeah, the bridge
Throw a
skews
bridge
it.
in there
Yeah.
kind of throws you for
Yeah.
skew, but.
Yeah, bridge skewed it considerably.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
All right, the last action item number 4 in your packet is consideration of final payment for state aid project 007-626-019. This is County State Aid Highway 26 from County State Aid Highway 57 to Trunk Highway 22, OMG Midwest, and Minnesota Paving and Materials. Original contract amount $4,517,905.70. Contract pay request number 16, amount $86,592.71 for a total contract amount paid to date of $4,697,766.05. Just for the commissioner's note, we did to get, obviously it took us a while to final this one out because there was considerable liquidated damages that were assessed. We did work with the contractor. There was a gas delay that was, a gas main relocation delay that was claimed. So we did give them a little bit of their liquidated damages back. We still did assess $68,000 of liquidated damages on this contract for their fact that they didn't get the project completed nearly on time.
Okay. What are the wishes of the board?
Move it.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries for the CASA 26 final payout.
All right, we'll move on to information items. As always, please feel free to interject with any questions that you have as we go. For our project updates, County State Highway 10 from the west county line to 20. Grading is still underway, working from the east to the west on the curve realignment areas is the emphasis. The segment from CASA 32 to CASA 20 is partially covered with additional gravel base, with plans to continue the base and then paving it later this month. The bridge replacement is scheduled for beams to be set this week. In fact, I think we thought they're likely happening today. So that's moving right along. Obviously the amount of rain we've had this summer is on a large grading project has been challenging, and they're a little bit behind schedule. So we're starting to look at contingencies and how can we make sure people have access. But we've got a lot of construction left yet before we get to that point. So 26 bridge replacement is a box culvert just north of CASA 57. Right-of-way acquisition is still ongoing. We would anticipate that project to be let in for construction in the spring. County Road 139 bridge replacement. The bridge deck is set to be poured this week. County Road 156 bridge replacement work will begin, we believe, tomorrow on the project. It's anticipated to take just a couple of weeks. It's a box culvert project. The County State Highway 40 slope repair project west of Amboy is anticipated to begin this fall. However, the starting date is kind of weather dependent and will depend on the progress on CASA 10 because it's the same contractor, so we don't want them to open that up and and draw resources away from 10. CASA 5 from Riverfront Drive to Summit Avenue for reconstruction in 2026. Bolton and Mink anticipates submitting the 95% plans to us soon, so those are the plans that go to MnDOT for approval. So that's tracking forward. And then we would anticipate starting to work on right-of-way acquisition for this project very soon as well. There'll be some permanent and temporary easements necessary. CASA 15 and 28 in St. Clair, utility work is beginning on 28 North with a second crew wrapping up work on Shallow Drive. I think whether or not they start on anything east of there is going to be TBD based on how their progress goes on the north segment, and whether or not they can get it done in time and get it put back to pavement. So we'll be working with the contractor on that and the consultant city engineer as well. CASA 10 from Vernon Center to 0.9 miles east, really no updates. Frustrated with the lack of progress on the design of that. It was a new consultant we're trying out. CASA 14 box culvert bridge work is anticipated to begin in the coming weeks, will be completed in 2 to 3 weeks. The CASA 69 reconstruction project, road plans are at about 90%. We've also hired Bolton and Mink to assist us with storm sewer outlet assessment and design. There's some complicated drainage matters in that area of South Bend Township, and they've got some history with it, and we also need some additional hydraulic design and help with the assessment of it. We'll begin right-of-way acquisition in the coming month. Additionally, the draft 2026 to 2030 transportation improvement plan is posted online for public comment until September 24th, 2025. We would anticipate bringing that to the board in October for approval. Some maintenance activity updates. We're done seal coating. We should finish fog sealing in the next week or two, weather permitting. As a reminder, we do also help the city of Mankato for a couple of days on some minor seal coating afterwards because they provide a roller and an operator for our operation. The stripers will be here this week to wrap up the fall striping contract. Still doing repairs from the heavy rains. They're getting close to wrapping up the damaged areas except for the Red Jacket Trail. Second application of dust control has been completed. We'll be patching once again and fog sealing. And we've been using the EV pickup for some of our maintenance work. I know commissioners have asked about that and how well it's working. We found they work really well for our flagging operations where the truck just kind of creeps along with the work and idles all day long. They really don't use much battery and saves an engine idling all day long. So very, very good application there, especially they have the lights running all day, but the LED lights don't really drain down the battery much. So we've been pleasantly surprised with that. Obviously a significant reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by not having a vehicle idling all day.
Awesome.
Then, last but not least, I do have a Rapidan Dam update included in the board packet. I can kind of go through this at a high level if that's okay, because we do obviously have a work session following up on this today. So I won't belabor it too much because a lot of this will be repeated later. On July 30th, we participated in a bridge design meeting with MnDOT State Aid Bridge and TKDA. The current bridge foundation is designed with H-piles, but it's almost certain to change to drilled shaft due to scour concerns. And the cost of armoring the river channel. The bridge piers are located outside the river channel due to the velocities and shear stresses. Bridge beams and other materials, fabrication could take up to a year. And MnDOT's State Aid Bridge is going to be referring this to the Central Bridge Office as well as their foundations units for additional peer review because of the complexity of it. On August 5th, we participated in a coordination meeting between TKDA and BAR. I think the group discussed the drilled shaft versus the driven H-piles, and the consensus is that the drilled shaft foundations are the clearly preferred alternative. We'll talk more about that later. On August 12th, we met with TKDA. I think they'll probably touch on really what they've been going through, but there was a note, I know it's picked up in the media. The MnDOT Bridge Office may require the use of chromium reinforcement bars over the typically epoxy coated to ensure longer bridge service life. Those are nearly at least 3 times as expensive and maybe up to 5 times as expensive. I think they'll talk about that. So that'll drive up the bridge cost along with the drilled shafts will be impactful. Again, we'll talk about that later. On the 21st of August, we discussed the project foundation revision, likely increased cost of MnDOT State Aid. They will be on the call today to talk a little bit more about the process that we'll have to go through and how we'll coordinate that. On August 27th, I met with Christine Elwood, MnDOT State Aid engineer. This is for the entire state, so she's a Deputy Commissioner of Transportation. While I was attending the Midwest Associated, MASTO conference that was put on by state transportation officials. So with her, and I actually was able to meet with Wendell Meyer, who is the FHWA division administrator, so I was able to catch him and have a brief conversation and provide an update on our project so that when some of these things come through, it's on his radar now. We had a good conversation about it. On the 2nd, we also met with TKDA again, more so preparing for the board work session and discussing just updated information. As we move on to the dam, on July 31st, we participated in a meeting with BAR Engineering. They're working on their third-party contract review with Interfluve. BAR will be coordinating the theoretical dam repair scope with FEMA to ensure that that design is sufficient. BAR is working on evaluating soil boring material characteristics, and then AET is willing to move forward with the hazardous materials assessment inside of the dam. They're still looking over the contract liability aspects and costs of that. Maybe we'll get an update on that today as well. On the 11th, we participated in a meeting with FERC and BAR Engineering regarding license surrender. Of note, the EQB formally determined that Blue Earth County is the RGU for the EAW, so we will be responsible for that. I'm sure Bob is probably providing
RGU.
regional
Responsible government.
Responsible government, yeah, I was looking for the R.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So I believe the review element of the EAW would be handled by our PPR department, so that there's separation there. On August 13th, we met with representatives from the DNR, PCA, MPCA, and United States Army Corps of Engineers and Bar Engineering to discuss the dam removal and river stabilization alternatives. The DNR is reviewing Bar's hydro model. We talked again about the deep drilled shaft foundations to reduce channel armoring costs. Discussed our previous meeting with the county board, the work session that we had. And then we really moved through several items providing project updates. But we informed them that we're looking for a cost-effective project that can actually be delivered. The project as it was proposed at that time is not a viable option without extreme additional funds. And the county's priority is to remove the dam and replace the bridge. And we don't know that future river stabilization projects are something that are within our scope or our ability to fund. We reviewed more data, the initial design that was presented to the board a month ago, and then we went into potential cost-saving approaches to reduce channel armoring. And Bar's going to go through these, so I won't go through them in too much depth, but I'll just kind of maybe touch on what they are. Option 1 is what we were already looking at, the Rock River channel armoring. Option 2 is the deep bridge pier foundation with minimal armoring. Option 3, no bridge, no channel armoring or grading, and just removing the dam. Option 4, no bridge, minimal armoring and grading. Option 5, lower dam crest, so basically cutting the dam down to a lower elevation and taking out the powerhouse and still having a low head dam. Not necessarily ideal, but we wanted to not leave any options on the table. We wanted to evaluate everything. Option number 6 was alternative armoring methods. Looked at some, it's basically a metal grid with concrete blocks cast into it so that it's flexible. It's called FlexMat, I believe. Not preferred alternative. Option 7, just for discussion, is repairing the dam. I mean, obviously we know the board's directive is to remove the dam, but because the scope and the cost is to, that FEMA will pay is to theoretically repair the dam, that obviously is not a desired option by regulatory agencies or the county, so it wasn't discussed too very far. Ultimately, they're open to natural channel stabilization. I'll let Bar go into that more later and move on from that. I did some follow-up conversations with the MPCA. Oh, I'm sorry, one thing I should add is that we got them all to agree to provide us with a letter supporting us moving forward with the design direction for natural channel stabilization and not having to rock armor the river. In fact, the PCA boldly stated that they wouldn't support rock armoring the river, which was honestly tremendous.
PCA or do you?
The MPCA.
Okay.
Yep. The DNR somewhat agreed with that. So ultimately, we ended up getting letters later in the month from all 3 agencies supporting our direction to move forward with a natural channel stabilization approach. I expressed that I was very concerned that if we didn't get direction from the regulatory agencies on what would be permissible, and we enter into detailed design and then submit something to them and then have to go back to the drawing board, we're going to waste a tremendous amount of money. So they understood that, and to varying levels of support. Some were much more guarded than others, but I do have those letters on file. I'll be happy to share them. They're very helpful.
But why would PCA have authority over that over DNR?
The PCA and the DNR, to my understanding, have somewhat of a joint authority.
Oh.
They're going to want to know what each other thinks. So they were just the first ones. But because it puts a man-made impediment in the river, is why they're opposed to it. And the DNR had similar concerns.
I can understand DNR, I just
Yep.
wondered how PCA
Yeah.
outranked DNR on a river issue.
I don't know if they do. I think they're kind of, they're both in the picture, and we've got to kind of get consensus from both of them and ultimately permits from both of them. Again, more meetings on August 21st, Bar Engineering and TKDA. On the 26th, we received a letter from the DNR, another letter from the MPCA on the 26th, and then from the United States Army Corps of Engineers on the 29th, we received a letter from them. Another meeting with Bar Engineering on the 28th, again talking about the hazardous material assessment inside the dam is moving forward, scheduled to be determined, and then really preparation for our work session here today. Happy to answer any other questions, otherwise we'll have our work session briefly.
Any questions for Ryan? No. Thank you, Ryan, for that report.
Thank you.
And the action items. We will see you shortly.
Yep.
All right, with that, we'll move down into some administration.
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, first item is the county board minutes for August 19th.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for the minutes. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Next are the bills for the 3 weeks indicated.
Move the bills.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to pay the bills. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, item number 9 in your packet is the Human Resources Department agenda. Just have informational items for the board today, starting with the employment of a 911 telecommunicator in our sheriff's office. We also filled a clerical specialist 2 position in the sheriff's department. We then did have a resignation of a property and environmental resources specialist. Also a resignation of a probation officer 2 in our community corrections department. We have initiated recruitment to refill that position because we already have reduced that department by 2 probation officers and kind of getting down to a critical mass. Next, we had a resignation of a library technician, a part-time position in our library. We also had a resignation of the Director of Business Operations in our Human Services Department. Then we had 3 promotions of accountants to accounting coordinators within our Finance Department, part of the reorganization that we've talked with the board about in terms of providing resources to all of our county departments through the Finance Department in a little different fashion, and providing that additional resource in terms of budgeting and financial management. That results in the recruitment being initiated for 1 accountant position in the Finance Department. And then we had a resignation of a correctional officer in the jail, and so we've initiated recruitment to refill that position. And that's the list. I'd be happy to answer any questions that the board might have.
Any questions for Bob? Okay, move on.
Item number 10 in your packet then is a request for approval of a tobacco license for Everest Apollo Mapleton LLC. This is a new applicant. They have completed the paperwork and submitted the license fee, and so we're recommending approval of the license effective today through the end of this year.
I'll move it.
I'll second. Got a motion and a second for the tobacco license. Is there any discussion?
Can you explain what kind of a business that is?
Is it a Dollar Tree or Dollar General?
Maple. It was the old
Oh.
Maple
Oh.
Mart that's,
All right, I'm sorry.
Changed ownership.
yes.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
All right, item number 11 is the financial status report for August 31st. We're 2/3 of the way through our fiscal year. We'll see that total revenues sit at just under 92 million, with expenses a little over 108 million. Again, we have the continuing construction costs associated with the new Public Works building that are driving our building and equipment purchase expense, so that's a large reason for the deficit situation we're in. The board is aware that we are pursuing some bonding funds for that project, and so we anticipate having those bonding funds in before the end of the year, which will help right this ship a little bit. In terms of other things to note, our state and federal revenue at the top of the report sits at 38 million compared to a budget of 41 million, so we have received a high percentage of our anticipated revenue. A lot of that is the result of receiving CASA funding for our public works projects, so we'll be drawing those funds down as our construction projects get completed here late this summer and early fall. Our interest on investments continue to run above what we had anticipated, so that has certainly helped things. Our transportation sales tax is a little bit above last year's rate, but a little bit below our target for this year. On the expense side, our public aid assistance is running a little bit above our budgeted target. The contracts and fees are a lot of our public works projects. We're robust there as well, as we're kind of finishing out some of our projects for this year. Down towards the bottom of the page then is the enterprise fund. This is the Ponderosa landfill. You'll see that total revenue sits at just under 4.2 million with expenses at 2.3 million. So without the major cell development and a number of large equipment purchases, we continue to see revenues exceeding expenses there. The next page then shows our cash and investment balances. Towards the top, you'll see our total available funds sits at 85.8 million. Our target is really 74.4 million, so we're running a little bit above that level as we have collected those first half taxes and are utilizing some of those funds. Our total funds then towards the bottom sit at 124.9 million, down from last year, but still very healthy in terms of overall fund balance. I'd be happy to answer any questions the board might have on the financial status report.
Any questions for Bob? Good report, thank you. All right, that looks like that takes me to the bottom of my list. We will move into some committee reports. We've got a lot of staff waiting here to do our work session, so we will be brief today. I know we normally are, but let's go through them quickly. Mark, I'll start with you today.
I just had August 28th, Departments for Housing, Affordable Housing meeting, and department heads on the September 3rd. September 4th had the Maple Policy Board meeting, and that actually includes my report.
All right,
That's quick.
thank you. That's brief, thank you. Kevin?
After the August 19th board meeting, we had a PR update. I attended the CASA 69 open house, 20th CD 89, JD 24 landowner meetings, AMC board meeting, participated in a NACO Ag Policy Leadership Call, August 26th. Before the work session, we had a PACE committee meeting, and after we had a CD 63 landowner meeting. 27th was the True Transit Joint Powers Board meeting, September 3rd, department heads, 4th Soil Water meeting, and on the 8th, Minnesota River One Watershed, One Plan. I would just take time just to quick an update. We're to the point now with public review, so that'll be out to the public. The December 15th is the hearing, and we've looked at the draft of a joint powers agreement. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Patty?
I'll be really quick. I attended the department head meeting on the 3rd.
Okay.
That was my 2 weeks.
Thank you. Vance?
All right, after the 19th, August 19th meeting, I had also attended the CASA 69 open house. On the 21st, I had a TDS meeting. On the 24th, I attended a annual fentanyl awareness day down at Ray Erlinson Park that was put on. The 25th, I had a detox board meeting. We had a work session on the 26th. On the 2nd, I had a NACO membership meeting. We had a department head meeting on the 3rd. We had a meeting with Bob and Josh on exempt status. On the 4th, I also had a Towards Zero Death meeting that afternoon. Attended a couple retirements on the 5th, which is Janet Hughes from MRCI, and then our own Angie, who's moving on. Yesterday, I had an MRCI Executive Board meeting, and followed up by a Detox Board meeting in New Ulm. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. I think the only things I have to add to the ones that have been mentioned with the work session, the open houses, and the department head is I had planning and zoning meeting. We had 2 items on the agenda. Nobody testified, pretty non-eventful. We'll see them in another week or two. And then just several phone calls and conversations with some landowners on some ditch stuff and privatization of ditches and things like that. Other than that, that's my report. Anything else for the good of the order this morning before we break into our work session? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Can we be ready?